All right, we're gonna watch this. We have no choice, chat. You guys are not linking
Hello, ladies and
anything.
gentlemen. My name is Savix, and last week I asked you guys to give me some questions, and today I got to ask these two lovely people these questions.
They were
If
super
these interest
nice.
you, stick along. And if they don't, stick along anyways. Also, sorry for the bit of scuffness. I'm more of a Discord guy, and the call was recorded on Zoom. So, yeah, enjoy.
Man,
Yeah, you can start.
Hi, I am.
why do people still use Zoom? I feel like Discord's the move, no?
Ana Resendes, lead software engineer for the World of Warcraft Classic team, and I'm really excited to talk about Hardcore Classic today. Hello.
And hey, savix, good to meet you. I'm Clay Stone, Associate Production Director on the WoW Classic team, and the process of developing Hardcore has been extremely exciting for the team. We've watched the community participate in it for a number of years now, and bringing official realms has just been a labor of love for us. So yeah, very excited to be here and talking about it with you.
Hi, okay. My name is Savix, and obviously it's a pleasure meeting you both. You guys done an amazing job in the PTR, and whenever there was issues, you guys kind of cleared them out pretty fast. So thank you so much for that, and we get to finally see it come alive.
Yeah.
And I guess with that being said, are you guys ready for the questions?
Yeah,
I
bring
hope
it
so.
on.
Yeah, let's do it. Absolutely.
All right. First question of the day. In the future,
He
could
said,
we
"I hope
expect a
so."
SSF mode, which means solo self-found mode in a separate server, or perhaps a toggle to activate in the character creation screen? And maybe if we could even take it further, like an extreme hardcore server, which has no pet tree or world buff, would that be like a possible thing?
So yeah, when we looked at developing official hardcore realms, one of the biggest challenges was actually deciding what do we change. I mean, there's so much that we could change. There's so much that we could add. What rule set outside of the fundamental death equals the end of your character's journey.
Yeah.
We have certainly seen.
I laughed because we always say death equals delete, and he's like, death equals. It's funny seeing them say it. And I feel like through this interview, I kind of understood why they didn't add SSF mode, because there's like a bunch of people that don't like SSF mode or like SSF mode, and they wanted to just provide both ways. But they did say they'll add in a SSF mode at the end of the day, which is a good
over
thing.
the life of the PTR,
And
and
Tito,
looking
what's up?
at how players participated in hardcore on what we're calling the unofficial realms in the hardcore challenge. A strong desire for some sort of self-found option or a way to play that way. That is something we have heard loud and clear over the course of the PTR. And so what we are looking at adding is a self-found option, which when players create their character or shortly after, they would be able to enable something that no longer allows them to use the auction house, use mail, or trade, and progress through the entirety of their journey with that option enabled.
I think people will be really happy to hear about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been interesting when we think about the way that we have created these hardcore realms. They're really meant to be a broad sandbox that then players could add even further additional challenges for them to place on themselves. But when we look at what we're able to support, given our capabilities, something like that self-found option is definitely one that we're pursuing.
We don't currently have plans to go beyond that, but it's definitely something like as we mentioned before, right? Like hardcore really came from and asked from the community, and we're listening. So if there's something that the community is really excited about, or if they have any ideas, we're more than happy to hear about it, right? And then we can see whether if that makes sense, right? Because that's something that we really try to do is keep in mind the whole population of World of Warcraft, because there's also a lot of people that enjoy coming and playing the game that might not be very vocal, and that's when we have to rely on other things like using data to track the actions of players and stuff like that, and that's how we can determine how people are also engaging with the content. So it's something that we definitely take into consideration before making any decisions. But we're really excited to hear from the community.
Yeah, I guess they could like write in the comments if there's anything they would suggest, and then maybe you guys could take it back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I guess Before we move on though, here's the thing about it though. When somebody said they could just play SSF mode on themselves, the thing is, hardcore got popular because of the people that's using the add-on, and there was so many people playing it, right? And then Blizzard was like, "Hey, let's monetize this since there's a lot of people playing it." And obviously, the people that were using the add-ons want that mode to come to life as well. So I could see both sides. But then again, the people that made the hardcore add-on, I guess they made this rule up because they were doing it on a server that had players playing in it already, and the level 60s could like trade him the gears. If it was a fresh server, they said they would have never added like the no trade mode. So there's like a lot to it. But they're gonna give us both a SSF server and a non-SSF. Well, I don't know if it's gonna be a separate server, but we will get it eventually. We will get it eventually. The second question would be, you guys kind of answered it, but along the future, would you guys be down to add in titles for players leveling as Iron Man, which is only using gray/white quality gear, or like a nudist where you wear like no gear at all? I think adding these titles and achievements, players would really appreciate that.
Yeah, that's definitely something we're excited to hear about. Like, there's so many like different endless like ways that you
Yeah,
can that you can go into these. As Clay mentioned, we really like this first iteration of hardcore. We really wanted.
I think the easier ones they should add. The easier ones they should add. Like Iron Man and Nudist, that one's super easy to add, right? Just complete the whole challenge naked from the start, or gray gear from the start. Whereas in the other achievements the hardcore mode has, like killing Bank Dira before level 30 or 40, I forgot. Those ones you could cheese it with grouping or other people helping, or depends on the class. It might be easier for some classes, harder for some. I think those are kind of on the border. But the normal titles, I think they could add, like Iron Man and Nudist. Like easy ones.
To make sure that it was as open as possible. Like as he mentioned, I really like the word a sandbox where you can just really do whatever you want in it, right? And engage without like all the restrictions being put there for you. We really want to stay away from like being very specific of like this is the way that we envisioned you playing our game. We want to leave it more open so people are the ones that make their own journeys. That said, we're not gonna um stop
Force.
you.
Yeah.
Force you, right? Like we're not gonna force you to also
Playing rules that
don't
people
do
don't want to
this,
play on.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there is a big group of people that don't like SSF, and I think the people that were traditionally using the add-on in the era servers for the
Mhm.
hardcore, they want the SSF mode. So it's like split, and I guess you guys are
Yeah,
right in a way.
and I can see that, and I mean, one of the
Yeah, I can
biggest
see why they didn't
differences
apply the
is
rule.
that in the unofficial servers, when people were using the add-on, not everyone in that server were participating in the challenge, right? So the add-on needed to be very, very restrictive because if you have trade, then you could potentially trade with people that are not part of the challenge, and then it starts to become, especially in era servers where there's people that were original classic release, season of mastery transfers.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of like different shenanigans going on there. So I understand how it would have to be more restrictive just because of the nature of the servers. But coming here, everybody is participating on the challenge. Everyone has one life, so it's a very different environment. So that's why we decided, like, hey, we don't want to be restrictive to begin with. That said, we have heard, as you mentioned, from many people in the community that they would really like to continue with that challenge. So it's something that we're talking about. The self-found part of it, of
Yeah.
restricting trading and all of that.
Personally, for
I think they just don't know what is good to add and what is bad to add. Because they're developers, right? They didn't play much as we did, obviously, in the server with the add-on. So there's like obvious things that they should add and non-obvious things that they shouldn't add. And I think it's just hard for them to determine. But they are listening to the comments. Like, we were pretty loud about the SSF thing, so they're going to be adding it, right? So if there's anything that bothers you, just be vocal about it or write in the comment section, and they do kind of read it. And these two guys that I interviewed, they were nice, man.
me, I would like SSF mode, but I'm open to anything and I'm happy we're getting a server. So I'm gonna enjoy the way you guys are providing it, and maybe in along the month you guys make
Yeah, I told them straight up. I would prefer SSF, but I'll still play whatever they give me.
the SSF mode, or we could just do the challenge again with the add-ons,
I
right?
guess the only other thing I would add to that is, speaking of additional challenges, if you remember in Season of Mastery, we kind of dipped our toe a little bit into an Iron Man challenge where we had a buff that players could enable called Soul of Iron. They would carry that with them through to level 60, and if they died, they would lose that. They would lose that buff.
True. Yeah.
And if they progressed all the way through, let's say, defeating Ragnaros, then they would earn Survivor of the Fire Lord in the tooltip on the buff. So what is great is when players start these official realms, they can go to Undercity or they can go to Ironforge and they can enable that same buff for themselves. It won't be something new that's exclusive only to these new hardcore realms, but it is the same system that was enabled for Season of Mastery.
I just hate how it's like simple things like achievement. Your idea was so good, and it would be fun. Yeah, I think so too. Hopefully they do take this feedback and add it.
All right, number 3, you guys have killed it with the anti-griefing, so
They did a
big
really
thank
good
you
job
to
with that.
And going forward, could we expect the same with the botting problems? There's like an ongoing botting, especially in RAS servers. People would love to hear any solutions or any plannings you guys are doing for that.
Yeah, well, first, thank you. When it comes to the PvP and making that consensual and opt-in, that was a huge focus of the team, both on the design and the engineering side to protect against some of the shenanigans that we were seeing on the unofficial realms. When it comes to botting, this is something that is top of mind for us at all times. It is something that we work together with our global security team constantly on. We published a blue post about this a while back, in which we went into detail on our thoughts on bots and our ongoing efforts to combat them. One of the big challenges about us talking about it is the more that we talk about it, the more insight that we give into it, and this ongoing battle against the bots, the more self-defeating it becomes. We can't talk a lot about the specifics of our ongoing efforts, but I can promise you that it is a battle that we are fighting, and it is one that we are not going to stop fighting. We definitely recognize that makes it a little bit of a black box, and that can certainly be frustrating, though. But we're committed to continuing.
Mega Cap? I don't know though. I talked about it a little bit earlier. Sorry, I have like food in my mouth, so I can't talk that well. I could see what he's trying to say. I don't think they're like completely shut off of it. Maybe in Wrath, I don't know. There was a lot of people flying around. Let's be honest, right? But then again, if you look back at WoD, I used something too. It wasn't Honor Buddy. I don't remember what it was called. But what it basically did, it had like 3 buttons, and it would follow someone and press 1 ability and queue Battleground. And I was farming Honor like that, and I got banned within a week. I used like 5 days. I got perma banned on that account. Soda got banned, Hansel got banned. Like literally every PvPers got banned because we didn't want to do Battlegrounds. We just wanted to get free Honor so we could arena, right? And yeah, I got perma from that. But most of the people got 6-month ban, so I got pissed that I got perma banned from that. But I learned my lesson. Never do that shit again. So bots do get caught, man. If a lot of people like right click report them, I think they do. But how many people like right click and report, right? Not a lot. People just say, oh my god, there's so many botters, and they just record or walk away, but they don't really right click and report them. So if you report and enough people report and it becomes like a red indicator, I think they ban it that way. I don't think they do auto bans anymore. I think they changed that in Legion. In Legion, there was a system. I played WoW since 2004 to now, right? Back then, when they added this mass report system, like I remember Stay Safe, somebody wasn't in his premate, so they like mass reported. I don't know if it was Stay Safe, but I remember one of the classic guys. They were doing 40 versus 40, and if one of the guys wasn't in their team, they would just
falsely report them, so he gets kicked out of the BG. That happened to me too. I was doing RBGs, and I'm like a streamer or YouTuber, and people hated me because of that. So when the RPG starts, everyone just right clicks my name and reports me, and I would just get kicked out for a day or two. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? So after that, I don't know if you still get kicked out from a lot of people reporting you. I think it just becomes like a red flag, and then they have to look into that red flag and see their pathing or what they were doing, right? I think that's what's happening now. But yeah, I don't think you can correct me if I'm wrong. Can you mass report someone and they get banned? I don't think it works like that anymore, right? Happened to me as well during Legion, I think. Yeah, it happened a lot to me. And I was streaming them too. We pay for the protect and service of our game. Did I miss the custom server question yet? In FF, you report someone and they turn out to be not guilty, you get banned instead. I think that's good, Valve. I think that's good if you falsely accuse. And I think that's hard too, because earlier I was flying around and there was this bear just standing in one spot. I'm like, dude, is that guy AFK bot farming or what is he doing? And then I went to quest, I came back, he's still there. It's like hard to determine if he's cheating or not. I mean, there's obvious ones where they're like all pathing together or flying. Those ones are obvious. Yeah. I don't think so. I haven't heard of it since. Okay, I think they did get rid of it then.
This
Is
fight,
Peter shutting down today? I have no idea. Where did you hear that from?
and we do want to be as transparent about it as we can be, because it's incredibly important to the team, and we know it's incredibly important to the player base too.
Could we be helpful too by doing anything, or is there nothing we can really do?
You know, I would say reporting is actually it's huge. It works. It really does. I would please continue.
I purposely asked this because I remember I talked to another community manager and he said whenever we post videos with the region like NA or EU and the guy's server name like on the title of the video, they could ban him immediately. But if some random guy just uploads a video and saying bots are taking over WoW, they don't know who to ban. Like they don't know if that's NA or EU. So if you write down like NA, this server, this guy's name, they could ban him immediately. But they need a lot of like stuff, I guess.
When you see
like a video,
like
etc.
Our team does receive those reports. We action extremely quickly. So yeah, they're important, and that is certainly.
That's so many videos. I mean, just like what he said, just right click, report them, helps them out.
The player base can continue to help us in these efforts.
Okay, got it. You don't have to do it. Let them all know and inform them for that. Number 4 would be Hardcore Classic is coming out on August 24th. And with it coming out, many have been wondering, will we get a server list as well as can we reserve our characters? Kind of like Classic Relaunch did it. That way we don't have to like panic. I report and see the same bot over. I mean, your vote probably counted. It probably needs other people to vote too. It's kind of like Among Us. They need at least like 20 people reporting or 5 people reporting. If it's just like 1 to 2 guys, I don't think they look at it. But if this guy has been reported like simultaneously by like 20 people, they look at it immediately. I think that's how it works. In the character screen and have like 5 backup names in case one is stolen or not. I always report though, because it's like I'm in a public and someone's getting stabbed and I'm gonna call the police, right? I'm not gonna just pull out my phone and record it and put it on my TikTok or something. So if I see sus activity, I just report it. It's like a good deed, man. It's a good deed. Not right?
Yeah, we currently don't have plans to do this. As far as you know, the server list and all of that is something that we're gonna be monitoring.
I was sad that they weren't doing this. So sorry, I was like talking over stuff. I asked them if we're gonna have a server list and if we could reserve characters, kind of like Classic Relaunch, and they're answering it now.
Is not to come out with several servers at once. We want to start a little bit smaller on the smaller side, and
Okay.
react, and we have servers ready to go in case there's a huge demand, right? But the whole idea is to start small and kind of like have the community be in a server and then like expand if needed, or as needed. But there's no currently any plans to create any kind of name reservations. I think also in hardcore, the dynamics might be a little bit different too, in the sense of like people are gonna be creating more characters than in the main game, where or not hardcore realms, because you might die, so you might have to go again and maybe try a new one.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be a little bit different, and I understand that it's not, what people might prefer, like having a name
Mm.
reservation would be the ideal, but we're not gonna be giving that option to the players.
Do you know
I'm gonna get my name yoinked right away, I think.
like how many servers estimate like we would have? Because I like the idea of having like less servers so that we would have more people in one server, right?
It's one of those scenarios where our thinking on it is the fewer the better, but there's a
Mhm.
very fine balance there. And as Anna mentioned, it's
I like Fear the Better because there's more people in one server, but I'm just afraid of it lagging and we die because of the lag. That's gonna suck if that does happen.
we are good at actively monitoring, particularly around a launch, as we monitor the growth of a realm. We could say that in the US and EU there will
Soon,
certainly
Alina.
be more than one, and we're just gonna see how it goes as we continue to monitor things on the 24th and
Okay.
that weekend.
All right. I'm just gonna hope we don't like lag because there might be a lot of people too, right? But
It would be a great problem to have for sure. We're hoping it would be a great problem. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I said, oh man, because dude, if we lag and die, people are gonna be so mad. But for him, I think he's not understanding. It'll be good problem for them to have because it means a lot of people are playing Classic WoW and they're the ones making it, so it's good to have a lot of people. But it's not good for the players if we die, man.
And from the technology side of things, we're always,
But they did say they have like backup servers, so if there's too many, they'll add a few servers.
working on the technology of it and trying to optimize those situations, right? Of like making it um, a better flow for the players too. I know it's hard to really keep you all guys updated on all of the changes that happen in the server side of things, but we are doing optimizations and stuff to have like a better experience for the players, especially when we're considering more people.
gotcha. All right, number 5. Not only are people excited for classic hardcore, but the next season of mastery, and in one of the interviews you guys gave, it was clear that it wouldn't be season of mastery. Could we get like a little bit insight or hint about it? Because so many of us are excited for it, right?
Gosh, this is one of the scenarios we would love to.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, today is not that day.
Okay.
I
Okay.
will
tried.
reaffirm what you said. We did announce that we are working on a new season. It is not Season of Mastery, and part of the reason why we wanted to do that, for full transparency, is we wanted to make sure that the player base didn't think that hardcore was our next season. Was kind of the reason why we were so upfront about that.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, that answers that. And
Keep posted though, because it's gonna be really, really fun.
really, okay.
Yeah.
Could we
Keep
expect
an eye on
Really,
it.
really fun, chat. What are we expecting in Season of Mastery, the new one?
Could we expect like a date when you guys will talk about it, or is that not something to talk about too?
Yeah,
Gosh.
unfortunately, we cannot
Okay,
really
yeah, that's
talk
totally
dates.
fine.
I
I'll
think
ju-
we'll
I
get
ju-
a
I'm
hint
just
of it in BlizzCon.
say keep an eye on
Yeah,
it.
we'll keep an eye
You'll
out.
know. Like I don't think you're gonna miss it. Whenever we say more about it, I don't think you're gonna be missing it.
Okay.
We're gonna make
Yeah, I have a tendency. I smile too much.
sure that it's known by the community
I'm just a
once we're
happy
ready
guy.
to talk about it.
Okay, number 6. This
It's
one's kind of a
bad
big
though.
reach too.
I smile at everything, dude.
I grew up being a big fan of Blizzard games, from Warcraft 1, 2, 3, StarCraft. Hello, ladies and
Oh
gentlemen.
shit! I pressed my mouse and it refreshed the video. Look what you did, chat.
Okay, number 6. This one's kind of a big reach too. I grew up being a big fan of Blizzard games from Warcraft 1, 2, 3, StarCraft, Brood War, Diablo, you name it. I played everything and consumed all the Blizzard
I
products.
wanted this so bad.
And back then, like StarCraft and Warcraft had Battle.net, allowing people to create their own custom maps, and they were extremely fun. And this leads up to the question: in the future, could we ever get a server in World of Warcraft where we could make our own game modes too? Like this could prevent private servers and infinite content for the players.
Dude, this would be so huge for Blizzard.
I know it's a big question.
You know, thinking back to those creation tools and those games, I am right there with you that
I think dude, he sounds like Holinka when Holinka was like, I'm right there with you, I want solo keep, but we can't. Like the higher ups wasn't letting them. I feel like he wants it too, but he doesn't have the power to do that. Like the lead team has to determine that, I guess.
think about particularly StarCraft and the custom maps that I would
Where's he looking? You wanna know where he's looking at? Yeah, I'll show you, man. It's like this. It's like that. And then he has it's like that, okay? So he has to be careful, man. He's a nice guy. He did nothing wrong. It's just a higher up. He doesn't have the power, okay?
particularly StarCraft and the custom maps that I would make when playing with my friends, and I have incredibly fond memories of that. Unfortunately, nothing to announce on that front today. We have heard that discussion come up in the community.
Yeah, maybe in the future.
But thinking a little bit more about hardcore, one of the things that we are most interested in, though, is seeing what challenges players continue to put on themselves as they play through the hardcore experience. And there's a lot of creation that's allowed in that space with these additional player created challenges. But as far as servers are concerned, nothing to discuss on that today.
Gotcha. All right. And this last question is a bit of a meme, but I get this asked all the time. I guess the audience is always wondering, will you guys ever sell like a token to resurrect in hardcore? It's no, right?
We definitely have no plans. We really want to ensure that, you know, coming August 24th, people know that they only have one life, right? And that that's the challenge.
I asked this for the people that always say, oh, Blizz is gonna ruin it. They're gonna sell token to resurrect. And I was like, bro, they're not gonna do that shit. I asked. I mean, if they do it after saying no, that's fucked up.
For it, and we really don't see.
But we got a reassurance here that this was like our, you know, life insurance right there. We'll pull this card out if they do add it.
Like having an option like that being added for like hardcore. Definitely not on our plans. So yeah, I know it can be a meme a little bit, but yeah.
No, that's good that you guys are answering it like that, because people are saying they're gonna sell tokens to Resurrect. I'm like, dude, they're not gonna do that. Come on.
No, we're not.
All right, so that's awesome then.
It will. I don't know if we touched on it already. We are allowing players to, if their character dies, we are allowing free character migrations off of the hardcore realms to normal.
Oh yeah, I think that's really cool that you guys are adding that.
So if you fall in love with your character and you don't want to go again, you want to roll you don't want to roll a brand new character on hardcore, you can continue that character's journey elsewhere, but
in the era server, right? For free.
Yeah, in the era servers.
For free.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And you can roll as many characters as you want on hardcore too. So you can keep starting again. Start again at level 1. Try a different class. It really there are so many experiences ready to be had on the hardcore servers. There's no reason not to go again.
You can also be a ghost going around.
Or that. Yes.
I think these are fantastic additions to the game, and thank you guys.
Bro, what is this?
That was all my question.
Yeah, I have a question for you.
Sure.
What is what are your plans? Are you planning on playing a priest for the on the 24th?
Priest. Probably not a priest. I've done many hardcore characters on my stream and the YouTube channel. I think this time I'll be playing a rogue.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah, rogue will
That
be
sounds fun.
What about you
Yeah.
guys? You guys have any plans?
Uh, yeah, I am planning on
Why did she
playing
ask me priest, man? That was so random.
a mage. I really like. I usually play
Okay.
priest.
Mage is good.
But I was like, I don't know if I want the challenge of being the healer and then like accidentally, like not healing on time and then I get blamed for it. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I think a mage sounds fair. Definitely the people that I'm planning would play with already have someone that is gonna be
Mage is
healing me.
a fantastic option.
Yeah, so
Mage
really
is
excited.
so OP.
How would you, Clay?
I want to. I know you had mentioned watching the Wildcast. I want to start with a paladin, another paladin.
Again.
And I want to push myself, and I want to level a warrior. Yeah, I think that
Warrior's known as one of the most
He has good
difficult,
choices.
so big
That's
props
why
to
I
that.
want to do it. I
I
want
like
to see if
that.
I
I
can do
like
it.
that.
It might take me a long time. really, really, really
Or many
long
attempts.
time. Or many,
I believe
many,
in you,
many
man.
attempts. But yeah, I don't know. I know people have differing opinions on it. But the way that the challenge of doing that has been expressed to me just seems like one that I want to take on.
Got it. I love that. Good luck to you guys then.
Thank you. Same.
All right. Thank you so much for the interview again, and nice meeting you guys. See you guys in Azeroth, I guess. Then,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sounds
See you
great.
there.
Thanks so much,
Okay.
Alex.
Thank you very much.
so much.
Nice meeting you.
Bye.
Bye.
Dude, I smile way too much, by the way. Here's a video chat. Boom, boom.